They'll take it. It's his 10th goal in 24 appearances for Lamine Yamal. And you see here, Barcelona, a pretty good season. First place in La Liga, 4-point gap to second place in the Champions League. They're sitting 15th in the league phase, just 10 points. Copa del Rey now quarterfinals, and they've already won a trophy, the Supercopa de España. They won that just last week by beating Real Madrid 3-2 in the final. Let's talk about this Barcelona side, because I think many of us are expecting them they are the favorites to win the Liga now, 4 points clear. Maybe one of the top teams that you expect to be competing for the Champions League as well. It's been an interesting season for them, though. What's your take on where this team currently stands right now as far as the elite teams in Europe?
I mean, Barcelona are trending in the right direction. That's 11 consecutive victories for Barcelona, the first time since 2015, across all competitions. That is incredible. So you have an opportunity of creating history when you're on that kind of a run. Players being able to come off the bench and have an impact like they did do in this game, obviously fantastic to bring Ferran Lopez off the bench, and that type of pass, that type of vision is the quality you've got, also the quality you're producing in your academy. So they got a great group of players now, and they've also got an excellent coach. Interesting team selection this time from Hansi Flick. I thought that he actually might have rested a few more of his stars, but I think when you're going up against the top of the table team in the second division, you've got to take these games seriously. Barca did take it seriously. They wanted to score early. They just couldn't. It was an excellent Racing Santander performance, and actually Hansi Flick's side just found a way to get the job done. And that's all that matters in these cup competitions. I can tell you a personal story if you want. I actually remember being a third division team at St. Pauli, going up against Bayern Munich, the best team in Germany. 0-0 all the way through 90 minutes. I was crapping my pants the full game thinking, oh my gosh, if we get them to extra time, it's going to be beautiful. But then all of a sudden, if you make a mistake, you're going to be punished, because that's the quality that they have, they possess. Barca have got that in abundance. What they had out on the pitch was good enough to get the job done, but probably should have been a bit better with the starting 11. Not enough from Rashford. I want to see more from him. I want to see more efforts from him. I want to see a lot more from Lamine Yamal. I know he's 18 years old, but we got to stop babying this guy. We got to start asking for a little bit more from him. 10 goals, 10 assists this season. Okay, I understand that's from 24 appearances. Pretty good stats.
Yes.
But with his talent, with his ability, I'm always left wanting just that little bit more. So I put Barcelona up there with the best teams in European football right now. And when this type of form, they're up there with an opportunity of winning multiple competitions. And now Real Madrid are out of this competition. Yeah. You best believe it, they're going for this trophy as well.
Oh, yeah. And you can imagine that maybe the decision by Hansi Flick to throw, a lot of their starters into the 11 maybe has something to do with Real Madrid losing to Albacete and them getting eliminated from Copa del Rey, and Barcelona saying, okay, we can't have that happen to us. Let's start a pretty strong 11, and got them across the line. Eventually, they still struggled. You mentioned Lamine Yamal, yeah. And it's an interesting conversation, because you talk about the stats. The stats are still good by anyone's standards, by any star player standards. But we have held him up now to to loftier goals because of how good he's been. Is it fair? Are we expecting maybe too much, or you still want to see more from him because he's a superstar that we are really hyping up to be one of the best new players to come onto the world stage?
Well, here's where I sit on Lamine Yamal. I understand that he's a young boy. He's 18 years old. He's played an unbelievably large amount of games so early on in his career. And he's had immediate success for his national team, but also for Barcelona as well. And I think at some point you've got to start to protect these young players, otherwise their form will suffer. Statistically, the reason why I'm asking for more is because we know he can produce more. Even in this game against Racing Santander, he looked like he won player of the match, by the way, because he probably obviously got the goal. But his passing was off. I think it was like 3/4 of his passes hit their destination. His 1v1 dribbling wasn't very good. He went up against a very good player in Mario Garcia, the 22-year-old left back for Racing Santander. He's a very good player, but I want to see more from Lamine Yamal. When he picks up possession of the ball and he goes 1v1, I want to see him have a pure idea in the back of his mind of what he's wanting to do. And in this game, in particular, for large portions of this game, I felt like he was just sort of trying to see, maybe I can, but not actually doing, not knowing what he wanted to do with that ball. So his ability, his world-class talent, we know he can get to the next level. We know the statistics can become closer to those Lionel Messi numbers that we saw at one point at Barcelona, because he's got that ability. But we're all waiting, and still waiting, and still waiting. And I know he's 18 years old and ahead of the game, but even in games like this, I want to see more from Lamine Yamal. Got the goal at the end, probably saved his graces a little bit. But I also question sometimes maybe the decision-making in overplaying kids like him.
I mean, he has 89 appearances for Barcelona already in his career in all competitions, and he is 18 years old. I think that is something to look at, and I think it goes to a greater conversation about the fixtures and how many fixtures these young kids are having to play, and whether that ends up in being these players being burnt out down the line. I think that is a larger conversation. But
more than 89. He's got over 120. He's got about 130 appearances across all competitions. And that, to me, is dangerous when you're talking about an 18-year-old kid. And we were talking about someone who can step up and play for your national team. He's already played 20 times for Spain.
23 for Spain.
I mean, it's insane. This kid is 18 years old. And at some point, we have to protect the kids. Maybe it's my old heart that's telling me this, right? Back when I was playing, you always had 3, 4, 5 players over the age of 30. Now it's rare that you have a player over 30. It's a young man's game now. But Lamine Yamal, with those numbers that you're pointing out right there, we're getting close to 150, maybe 170 competitive games now. It's very dangerous at 18 years old. We're asking maybe a little bit too much of our stars. And therefore, I think we suffer as entertainment, right? Because we want more from Lamine Yamal, and we know he can get more. But at some point, you've got to choose to rest him. He played 55 games last year. 55 games!
It's mental. It's mental at his age. Crazy, it really is. In terms of squad depth, in terms of squad as it is, this team, where does it stand from Europe's elite clubs?
I mean, for me, Barcelona have an opportunity of winning the Champions League this year. And I think that's the title that Hansi Flick wants to go for. And he looks at his bench, right? And he sees a player that he can bring off in Ferran Lopez. He actually has a decision to make. Should I bring Pedri off and find that pass, or should I bring Ferran Lopez off and find that pass to open the scoring? Or maybe I'll bring Lewandowski off so he actually scores the goal. I mean, it's a life of luxury. Then he had the opportunity to bring Rafinha off the bench. I mean, it's an amazing squad that he's got there. I think the addition from Rashford's been good. He can be better, and he's probably not going to be the long-term solution for Barcelona, especially with players coming back fit and healthy. But Barca have got a young group of players who have all come through La Masia, and I think it's like 17 players or something like that who have come through the academy. That's insane. Yeah. And Hansi Flick must be just licking his lips at the opportunity of what he can achieve with this Barcelona side. I think that Hansi Flick is still chasing that Champions League trophy. But Real Madrid, and this is my honest opinion, Real Madrid have handed them the opportunity to win the Liga. Real Madrid have just handed them the opportunity to win Copa del Rey. There could be a real treble on the cards here for Barcelona and Hansi Flick. And I think the ultimate prize he's looking for is the one that's not going to be handed to him, and that's the Champions League.
And we can't say enough about Hansi Flick and the impact that he's had. Yes, this squad is incredible, Ian. But without Hansi Flick, I don't think that they are where they are right now because of the way he's able to manage this team and get them to perform. He has been incredible, and I think we can't really understate what he's done for this club.
Yeah, I mean, what he does do in big games, what he does in cup finals, what he has done against Real Madrid. Guy's unbelievable. Doesn't lose finals. I guess all you need to do is just get to a final, and you know Hansi Flick is going to find a way to win the game. It's quite incredible. 8 finals he's been in, and he's always found a way to win that game. That is really special. But he was handpicked by Barcelona. We were all surprised when Hansi Flick walked through that door at Barcelona. Everyone was like, the German? No, surely not. With all of those young, talented players, lack of funding, lack of financing to be able to go and spend, you've got to get creative now with your sporting side to bring players to the football club, or you've got to bring them through the youth ranks. Xavi Hernandez did that already. He started to bring players through the youth ranks and give them an opportunity. And Hansi Flick was probably the perfect person to say, thank you for all the great work you did do. Let me take over here and actually turn them into probably world-class talents. They have about 16 to 18 world-class players in that Barcelona squad right now. And then you've got 7 or 8 players who are probably youngsters who have potential to be world-class stars. And you've probably got one of the best coaches in the world. So why would they not go and win a treble this year?
You asked me this question earlier in the week about Manchester City. Is this the best squad in Europe, top to bottom? Or is it Manchester City, or is it Bayern, is it someone else?
Manchester City has the best squad on paper with names. The best team in Europe right now, who, as far as I'm concerned, is Barcelona, very closely followed by Arsenal right now with the performances and results they're getting. But Barcelona's on an 11-game win stretch. I mean, I understand Arsenal are very difficult to score goals against, but they're not as entertaining as this Barcelona side. I love the artistry of football. So for me, Barcelona, this group of players, that manager, it's the best in Europe right now.